Welcome back. My name is Carrie, and today I'm going to break things down before you even think about buying a prefab or factory built home. Building homes partially or completely off-site is not a new idea. However, it is getting new attention as a wider range of options become available to meet the demand in numerous different areas of new home construction. I was on a call this week and got asked out of all the homes currently available, which is my favorite, and I almost swallowed my tongue because not only are there a bunch of great homes available, but they're all designed for a completely different reason, which makes it hard to pick. There was a time many years ago when the main reason companies were building homes in factories was to service customers who were looking for a very affordable option. However, that's no longer the case. Sure, there are still companies building affordable options, but this industry now goes far beyond that to include every buyer and price point, and I really think this is just the beginning. For anyone thinking of buying a home built in a factory, before you start looking, I would suggest selecting a subset of the industry to avoid analysis paralysis from all the choices available. What I'm going to do is separate the industry into segments I like, tell you who might buy from each, and give you a few examples, so let's do it. Before we get into it, I thought people in the market to buy might be interested to know that a home I ordered actually ended up being finished 2 weeks early. Big deal, right? Well, it kind of is. Of course, this is only speculation, but on top of that, the factory also announced a 2-week closure for holidays over the summer, which is great for the staff, but I do wonder if they would have done it if they were flat out busy with orders. Could this be a sign that things might finally be slowing down at the factories? Too soon to tell, but if that is the case, it means I bought this home at the exact top of the market. On that note, the segment of offsite construction I operate in on a day-to-day basis is the one that was designed to be a very affordable option, and that's manufactured homes. This is the area most people likely think of when they hear about homes built in a factory. I live in an expensive area, so what I try to do is provide options that are affordable, relatively speaking, and I do that with traditional single wides that are usually around 1,000 square feet with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. I'm certainly not reinventing the wheel in this corner of the market. There were people doing exactly what I'm doing long before me, and they'll be doing it long after I stop, because there is, and I think always will be, a demand for affordable options. Even though the price for a new manufactured home has gone up significantly since 2020, I believe there's still a great option for people who are looking for a well-built home for less money. Simple as that. A company I like in the space is Champion, and I'm currently buying from a Champion-owned factory. The next segment of the factory-built home space that seems to be getting a ton of interest lately is small modulars aiming at affordability with a bit more wow factor. This is a brand new segment of the industry that I think originally came about to meet the demand for accessory dwelling units and will likely expand into other offers. I get comments all the time on my channel whenever I feature a company within this space asking, where can you actually put these homes? Yes, a lot of areas have minimum footprint requirements on lots that these homes don't meet, but I've been saying for a while now that I think regulations will be relaxed because of the current lack of affordability. It isn't going to happen overnight, but my prediction is new zoning will be created that will allow for smaller minimum lot sizes designed specifically for some of these smaller homes. The homes in this segment are cooler than the other side of the pillow and include the likes of boxabl, Nestron, Zenny Home, and Azure Printed Homes, to name a few. I've been following these companies fairly close over the last year and like what I've been seeing so far, but they're all so new that a lot of them are still moving from concept to home that buyers can actually purchase. This means that even though there are a lot of people who would buy some of these homes today, it's not that simple. If this is the route you're looking to go, be prepared to hurry up and wait, because you'll likely find yourself on a wait list. Does this mean you'll never be able to get one of these homes? Of course not. It just means you won't be able to get one tomorrow, or likely even before the end of this year, but starting a new company in a brand new segment of the market is not an easy task, and we're going to have to be patient as they ramp up production. Of these homes, it's too soon to pick a favorite because the only one I've been able to see in person is the boxabl Casita. I was very impressed with their operation along with the look and feel of the Casita, and I'm excited to see the others as well. This segment will appeal to buyers who want to be on the affordable end of the market while also getting into something that's got more cool factor than the traditional manufactured homes. Think about it. We've got homes that fold out, 3D printed homes, and smart homes. Cool, and cool. This is a space real estate investors may also want to keep an eye on, because I think there will be some new opportunities in the next 2 to 5 years. In the exact same size range with a shift away from the main focus on affordability is an entire segment of high-end small luxury homes. I honestly don't know when this segment got legs, but my guess would be it's a product of the tiny home on wheels craze adapted for those who wanted something on a permanent foundation. Whether or not that's where the original idea came from, I don't know for sure, but they've evolved into a very nice grouping of homes. This segment is where you can find some truly unbelievable high-end homes that look amazing and come with more creature comforts, decor, and customization options. A few companies I've been following in this segment are the DeVale Mini Home series and everything from Loyal Prefabs. So cool. In this space, you're going to see less of a production line style build inside the factory and almost more of a workshop setting, which does open them up for more customization and puts less importance on the speed at which the home is built. People want homes fast, but if the speed at which they're built and the quota they need to hit becomes most important, quality can suffer. Probably my favorite company in this space is Loyal Prefab. Some of the stuff they're doing over on the east coast of Canada is definitely worth a look and would make amazing cottages or luxury Airbnbs. Finally, we have high-end prefab homes that are in direct competition with high-end site-built homes. Whenever I post a video about companies in this segment of the market, I'm met with comments about the prices and that people would never pay them. Here's the thing, there is huge demand for these homes, and if nobody was buying them, why do they exist? Better yet, would Plant Prefab be building a new 270,000 square foot facility if nobody was buying their homes? I doubt it. These homes get built to be placed everywhere, but I think one of the best use cases for homes in this category is somewhat remote areas that don't have access to tradespeople or building materials. Actually, I'd make that same argument for all four of these segments. Think about it, if a building crew for a home constructed on site is driving 1 to 2 hours each way for the entire period the home is being built, that's a lot of wasted time and amplifies the benefits of off-site construction. On the luxury end of the market, I am a big fan of East Coast Modern and Plant Prefab. With Plant's new hub factory coming online later this year or early next year that will increase automation on their builds, it'll be very exciting to see where they go from here. They're already building single and multi-family homes that look incredible, so it'll give them the means to build more as people and companies realize the benefits of building indoors where everything you need to build the home is right there when you need it. If you're looking to buy a home built in a factory, there are a lot of great options available. To avoid being overwhelmed, I would suggest first deciding what is the single most important factor involved in the purchase. For a lot of people, that's going to be affordability. So then it's about finding the right balance between affordability, size, cool factor, and timeline that's going to work for your own personal situation. These are the areas of offsite construction that I follow the closest, but there are also markets for tiny homes, park models, and companies building massive multifamily projects. I've been in and around this industry for a long time, and every year I get a little bit more excited about where it's going as a whole and what's being offered. Let me know which company or subset of the industry you're most excited about. It'll be interesting to find out if there's a clear winner. Either way, I think the future's bright for the entire industry, and I'll be following everything going on and posting updates right here on my YouTube channel. That's all I've got for today. If you like manufactured home videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I've got new ones coming out every single week. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.